about trading on the stock exchange. And as usual, Effiong Ekop is in the house. Today, we are going to be looking at 2020. Effiong, happy New Year to you again. Yes. The market, even the lady from the NIPC attested to that the Nigerian market did so very well this year, 2020, despite the challenges. Let's do a little review of what played out all through the year despite the challenges, Effiong.
Great and outstanding performance by our market. Our market is rated in the global sphere as best performing market.
Wow.
Giving great opportunities to investors, to make money. Imagine the index of the market is hitting more than 47%, growth, in annual terms. And the market cap, that is the total value of securities quoted at the exchange, moved from 12 trillion that we had in January when we started 2020 to more than 20 trillion naira.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Wow.
And that is on the back of the fact that we had domestic investors, Nigerian companies moving to the stock market to play heavily in spite of COVID-19 pandemic. Before now, we've been used to waiting for foreigners to come in and play in our market. And anytime we had any little problem, they take their portfolios and leave us, and the market will crash. But this time, the market was highly sustained by indigenous companies. In fact, we did not even bother so much about foreign companies because many of them were locked up in their various locations. They didn't have opportunities to come in here. So, the companies do very well. We had the banks, and again, we have to understand the contributions of manufacturing companies, especially cement companies. They did so very well. Then, if you talk about the fundamentals of the market, they were stable. The quoted companies, in spite of the situation, in spite of poor infrastructure, we saw them bringing out, quarterly returns quarterly reports that were actually impressive, and they performed above average. So all of these were able to draw attention of investors to the exchange. But one other thing I need to say, we must, in analyzing what moved the market to the rooftop, we have to position the policy actions of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Central Bank, made two specific policies that helped the market. Number one, it stopped, fringe companies or individuals, low-class, portfolio managers from participating, in the treasury bills market. And again, it reduced, interest rates on savings. That is, discouraged savings, and then encouraged credit creation. That made, that sector of the market a bit expensive, and it forced funds to the capital market where investment opportunities, were needed, especially for the growth of the larger economy. Do you understand? So those were the things that worked very well for the market. And again, Nigerians, they were used to keeping their money under the pillows. But the larger economy after the lockdown, no opportunities to do all that. Those who used to take our money to foreign banks, they were closed up. They didn't even have opportunity to travel. So everything during the pandemic, as we said, worked for the stock market. So you can see, in the midst of bad conditions that the pandemic brought, we still had, good things coming out of it. And that was for the stock market. But having said all this, you will ask the question that the stock market is supposed to mirror exactly what goes on in the larger economy. So while the market is up, the other sectors of the economy, the macro sector, down. We are not to blame the regulators of the market, neither are we to blame the quoted companies. Do you understand? So the pandemic inflicted great, wounds on individuals, households, companies, government finances. So the state and our own, because our public infrastructure were already down, so it had negative impact. So that's why the growth of the manufacturing companies, small-scale businesses, they crashed. But we thank the NSC for being able to hold on, to the ability to create funds and wealth, for Nigerians. Do you know that in the month of December alone, the market grew by more than 12%?
Wow.
And this record of, taking the market beyond 20 trillion naira is something good. So you ask me what will be the situation, in the 2020 forecast. I see the market in the first quarter still riding, to the rooftop. NSE regulators and then government policies, being able to govern and then favor us very well.
Effiong Ekop there, market editor, my colleague. It's good to really have you break this down, doing it the way you do it very well as usual. Thank you very much. We'll continue the discussion.
It is my pleasure.
And a happy new year again.
The same to you.
Yes.